Hey, Marc Warnke, the Goat Guy. So, this is kind of the segment of how we're building this into a retreat center as well, and how we did that really affordably and cheaply. So, this tractor barn was open. It looked like that on this side, and it's one of the first things we did here on the ranch because we really are one of our focuses and our mission is to help people. And so we have programs where through meditation and deep work and breath work where we help people look at aspects of PTSD, trauma recovery, addiction recovery, and then we throw dances here. Trisha and I love to dance, and so we have dances here. But you can see it's nothing fancy. It's just a box with metal siding, but by closing it in, and we did that for under 30,000. We used things like we used wood from one-time use pallets that hold marble countertops, pulled those apart, and that was the 2x12s in the rafters of this place. So we did everything as cheap as possible. We put rubber floor mats down on the dirt, and then we put a floating floor over the top of it, and then we built cabinets out of plywood that allows this to be dual use. It holds my gear and all that fun stuff, but it also is a space. And so come on in. So yeah, if you have the money to do it nicer, awesome. I just didn't, and I don't. And so this is how we did it. We got creative, and we used a carousel fireplace that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. We have a small heater and air conditioner here. And then what we really spent our money on in this space, and I'm sorry it's so echoey in here, our mics malfunctioned, so I'm filming without the mics today. But the space itself is super well insulated. And one of the reasons we did that is because there's a lot of highway noise, and we wanted to keep this space quiet. So there's almost no highway noise that you can hear inside of this building, yet it's only like 30 yards that way. And so the nice part about what we've done with this space is we did put in a pretty cool sound system, and it was a couple of $1,000. You can see the speakers there, that's a big sub. And we actually throw dances here. And we have dances with kind of our fun little hippie community. And we have dances and we have a black light, and we paint ourselves up, and we do a whole day of it. So we do a day of, we do a cold plunge, then we do a sauna, then we eat together, then we have what's called an intentional share. That's why the couches are in here. We all sit down and we talk in a real way. Here's what's going on in my life. Here's what I've struggled with. Here's where there's something that's going great in my life, and here's where I'm really struggling right now. And it's a really honest share. And we kind of model it after AA, where you just share your feelings, but nobody offers any type of advice. And what we do is we hold space, which holding space assumes that a person has everything they need inside of them to be the whole and complete person they're trying to be, and that we're just holding space for that process and bearing witness to their process. And when you speak those kind of things, there's just healing that happens. And then we turn off the lights and we dance our asses off for like 2 hours. It is one of the most beautiful days, and we ask for donations for attendees for that. We feed them, we do the cold plunge, the sauna, the dance, we orchestrate all that, and we ask for a donation of $35. And when people come in and do that, they're glad to pay that and more sometimes. And we can put a little bit of money in the bank to help pay for things. And we have this beautiful night with our friends, and this is a unique space out here to do something like this. So that's how we run that. But this space also, because of how it's built, can work well for meditation retreats, yoga retreats, personal growth work. And then in combination of having the cold plunge and the sauna be nice spaces, they can use those as tools, and the fact that we have the mountain to climb. So we're using physical tools to teach people about different aspects of themselves, and then we're like using this room as the debriefing room. So when we come back in here, we gather, we talk about that subject, and our men's meetings, women's meetings, couples meetings, a lot of people attend, and a lot of people are looking for help with those. And we don't have to charge a ton of money, because we can put 20 or 30 people in here, and 20 or 30 times $100 or $150 or $300, they get huge value, and we are able to generate money for the ranch, and we're staying on our mission and helping people. So I want to tell you how valuable this space has been for us. And it's nothing perfect, but it works. We make it work. So I'd encourage you to think about stuff like that, you know, in things like the lifesteading movement and that sort of thing. So remember, I'm Marc Warnke. I'm known as the Goat Guy, but I do also help people with homesteading. We're the founders of the lifesteading movement that helps to teach you all the different disciplines, but also just acknowledges that we're only here for a while, and let's leave something greater than ourselves in our community, on our planet, through human beings, through animals, through becoming smarter and sharing that wisdom and doing those kind of things. So I would invite you into kind of potentially changing how you look at your homestead and the difference you might be able to make in your community, and things that you may do to have things like afford a hired man. That means you're not handcuffed to your ranch every morning and evening for chores. And I know that that's not a handcuffing, but it is if you want to travel and you want to go to people's places. We end up kind of as homesteaders being really cooped up and isolated, and so we draw community into us. And then we also, by drawing community into us, allow a platform to get out into the world and to go on trips and to have a little bit of extra money to not just be toiling all the time. So this is the Ripple Center, is what we call it. And it's been a really great advantage. We're gonna jump down, and I'm gonna show you the sauna real quick, and then I'm gonna show you the cold plunge, because we've changed that a lot this year and it's super cool. So I'm excited to share those two things with you. Be back in right a second. So in terms of the sauna, we just had this silo, and these silos, by the way, if you don't have one on your ranch or farm or whatever you have, and you want to do one of these, I see these all the time on Facebook Marketplace from anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000, and they're bolts, so you can pull them back apart and reassemble them. I've never done that, so I can't really speak to how difficult that is, but they're cheap and you can buy them. So something to consider. But we turned this into our sauna, and we're still always a work in progress, but we made it really beautiful. The one thing I want to talk to you about on the sauna is that we had the inside of this bid to be built into a sauna for us, and the bid was between 17 and 21,000, and we built it for about 4. So the cool part is we built it for 4, and our community, there are some affluent people in there, so they come here regularly, and so I actually asked for donations, and so people donated to that, and we were able to buy the cedar, and then we did the work. It took us 28 man days to build the sauna, and the addition is, and we don't have any power in here, it's wood fired, you can see the chimney right there, but the addition of this is that we have a little speaker, it's a DeWalt, you know, like construction site radio, and we connect to it with our cell phones, and we play really positive music in there. So this we treat as like a sacred space, only positive energy, only positive music, and only positive conversation. And what we've added and what we've learned about saunas is that when you get people in there, if you just turn on the music and you ask for no speaking and you ask for people to focus on gratitude, it is powerful. I was shocked, because I'd been saunaing the whole time, but when you play semi-loud music, not loud, but loud enough, and then you ask people to focus on gratitude, and then you invite them to hum or sing along, it's this beautiful experience. It's been so beautiful realizing how profound the sauna is. The only thing I wish a little bit is that it was bigger. I can sit 15 people and they're pretty tight, but it would be nice to be able to sit a few more, and the fire is plenty enough to keep that thing warm. So I'll just quickly show you the inside, because you guys may have already seen it. But we have little accents like this stuff. These look like a fire. You know, this is how it looks on the inside. So the camera may have a hard time, but you can see we built benches. It smells like cedar in here. That's the wood-fired fireplace. It's the only light in the building. And so the light that is cast from the fire is the only light, and it's really, really cool in here. And then that's our goofy little sound system. But I'm telling you what, it's a nice sounding sound system, and we're able to just sit on the benches around. And there's a lot of engineering in saunas, so I would advise that you don't just put wood up and think things are going to go right. You have to insulate them, you have to seal them. There's lots of information probably out there. The guy that was going to build ours for us, I said, I can't afford that, but will you consult me? And so I paid him to consult me on kind of the construction, and he was really generous in how he did that. And it was a real blessing. So we use the crap out of this thing. We just saunaed last night, and we sauna probably 5 days a week. And this is a great addition to kind of our retreat space. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful and smells nice in here and is really powerful. So thought I'd share that with you. We're going to bounce over to the Cold Plunge now. So this is the Cold Plunge. This has been like a 2-year evolution. Now all this existed. What didn't exist is just putting the rock around the edges and securing the fact that we almost lost the Cold Plunge last year because the high water came out and started to erode this bank over there. So this year what we did is we went in and we just kind of started from scratch, and we found a wholesale producer of this stone, and these stones are like crazy heavy. I mean, it was a lot of work to put these in. And the Cold Plunge is this great exercise in learning how to induce anxiety and panic. Now, the health benefits of cold plunging are through the roof. Sauna produces 50% less chance of all-cause mortality by sauning 4 to 5 times a week for over 20 minutes. And cold plunging is looking to be twice as good. But cold plunging is hard. It's hard, and I'm scared and nervous and anxious every time before I get in there. And I go through this process of learning how to quell anxiety and quell panic through breath and then just mental focus. And there's so much to learn from it. But the fact that we've made it beautiful now, and you can't see because of the camera, but we actually have benches all the way around to sit around the edges. So when we do a group exercise here, we step into the cold plunge, everybody sits around their edge, we play music, and then that music lasts for 3 minutes, and then we get back out. So it's a really powerful exercise in learning. And then when you get back out, it's like a brand new start. It's like you completely went through a state change, and you're like open now. Now you're open for new realms of thought and different thinking. And it's really a beautiful, beautiful thing. This cold plunge is a massive benefit. The negative is that our creek only flows about 9 months a year. So this thing's dry in the middle of the summer. But again, the coldness happens during this time of year. So, but this is 38,000 pounds in rock we put around, and then we grass the outside. And the reason we did that is because we were getting erosion. So this is kind of a center collection point. So we guided the moisture from this big area out that way, and then we grassed this, and then we ran rubber pool liner on the inside to keep all the erosion at nothing, and then made it pretty. So I know it's not perfect, and we did it, the whole project for around $2,000, and the cold plunge is a really super nice addition to the property and how it works and what we're doing. So we're really proud of what this has become. And we're excited to see how we continue to use this in our retreat center. So I just wanted to show you what we did with just kind of a normal creek that existed on the ranch, and now we have this really beautiful cold plunge. So again, I hope you find that helpful. We really want to lend knowledge and wisdom and kind of what we're doing. It's not like I'm all that wise or all that great. I just keep working, trying to figure out. I mean, my motivation is how do I afford this ranch over time? How do I make sure that it's not drawing down? I'm in my mid 50s. I don't
I don't want to work hard clear into my 70s just to pay for the ranch. I want the ranch to pay for itself, and I'm trying to set up systems in place where we have occasional events, we have an Airbnb, we have a sauna and a cold plunge where revenue comes in, and between goat milk and all that other stuff, between goat milk, Airbnb, and then a retreat center where the ranch begins to pay for itself, and we have some freedom both financially and we have some freedom in terms of time because we can afford to hire hired men. And then the last thing is to create abundance. So when we create abundance, we have more. I don't care about driving fancy cars or any of that stuff. So now it gives me more to pour back into my community and into people. So I hope that's meaningful to you. I hope you find that helpful. Marc Warnke, the Goat Guy, signing out.